I hope that young Kenyans in politics, in business, and in the civil society will turn to At the Ready, not only as a historical record, but also as a guidebook for principled leadership. Through his story, Major Madoka teaches lessons that will last beyond his lifetime. Lessons about duty, perseverance, and the unshakable faith in the promise of Kenya. Let us thank him deeply for giving us more than a personal memoir. Through At the Ready, he has preserved a part of our nation's history. He has ensured that future generations will understand where we came from and the sacrifices that built the Kenya we hold dear today. There are people who are very reluctant leaders. They are there. They do not want to engage with the stuff they are supposed to do. They become big people, bigger than the jobs that they have applied for. And they just want to own the title and the position without doing what is expected of them. And that is what Marsden has written in his book. It's not about position, it's not about title. It's about what gets done. Many a times I am accused of micromanaging stuff. But you see, when you have reluctant people whose mentality it is, tumeona serikali nyingi, we've been here, we've seen many ministers, we've seen many presidents, because it is the business as usual stuff. It is the roll of the mill, normal stuff. And that is the reason why I have taken it upon myself in the last 3 years to raise the ambition of our country. For far too long, Marsden, we have worked with the usual. We have made peace with mediocrity. We have, our standard has been the average. And somebody wrote a book and said, the enemy of the average. It makes you think you are not too bad, but it limits your ambition to do anything better. So, that ambition, my boss, Marsden, is what is driving me in this country. Yes, we cannot continue to make peace with mediocrity. We cannot operate with the average. We cannot be about the usual and the normal. We have to raise our ambition. We have to raise the bar and our standard. And it has to move from the ordinary to the extraordinary. That is driving all the things we are doing. The restlessness of our young people, the impatience of the young people in Kenya is because for far too long, we are operating around the average, the normal, this roll-of-the-mill stuff. And yet, we have tremendous potential. So, they are not entirely wrong. They are pushing the limits. And that is why we need to up our game. Yeah? And so it's the reason why we have a 4-pronged plan on how we're going to create opportunities. These young people are looking for opportunities. They are looking for opportunities to work. They are looking for opportunities to do business. They are looking for opportunities to learn, to grow, to be part of the drive that we have as a nation. And it is because it is in the DNA of Kenya not to be average, but to be excellent. That's our DNA. And that's why you see people are restless, people are impatient. Because that's what we are made of. We are not made to participate. we are meant to win. I take it very positively when I see the push, when people push me, as by God's grace, I'm the leader of this nation today. And it is my responsibility. When I get pushed, it is because I am the leader. Who else was supposed to be pushed? Sinimimi. Yeah, so it is the correct thing. And I will also push the limits for our nation because we can do it. Major Marsden Madoka has truly lived up to the title of his memoir, At the Ready. Throughout his life, he has always been ready to serve, ready to lead, and ready to give of himself for his country and this nation. His story reminds us that patriotism is not about words. It is about action, about the choices we make, and about the service we give each other every day, every time, and to humanity. When we read At the Ready, we do more than revisit history. We are invited to walk alongside Major Madoka through Kenya's journey, to see our country's story through the eyes of someone who stood right at the center of its making. It is not just a book of memories. It is a gift of wisdom and reflection, reminding us where we've come from and what truly matters. Major Madoka has won many hearts in his lifetime: a soldier, a corporate leader, a minister, and a philanthropist. But through all these roles, one thing has never changed: his love for Kenya. His compassion has always pointed home, and in every duty he undertook, he carried the same values of service with honor, diligence, and humility. He reminds us that leadership is not about titles or positions. It is about purpose, integrity, and the difference we make in the lives of others. When I received a letter from Marsden that he wanted me to participate in the launch of his book, it was not whether I should. The only problem I was grappling with was when. And I want to say I'm truly happy to be part of a small piece of what Marsden has achieved. And it's not always that a book is launched in State House, but I made this exception for this great Kenyan leader. One, it's because he served this country with commitment, dedication, and integrity, especially as the aide-de-camp of our first president. And secondly, it is because he mentored me when I served under him in the office of the president. Anything good you see in me, attribute it to Marsden. We have operated for far too long with the average and the usual and the ordinary. It is time for us to up our game, to raise our ambition. And we are beginning to have a conversation as a country. In this place where you are sitting, in the last 2 months, I have sat with all the members of parliament and senators in this place, one by one, to explain to them why Kenya is a third world country by mistake, and by mistake of us, the leaders. There is absolutely no reason why Kenya today is a third world country. It is us, the leaders, who are to answer. We are the people responsible for our country being a third world country today. Because just imagine, I have had engagement with two heads of state who were similar to us 60 years ago at a personal level. I asked the president of Singapore to come and see me. He came here in 2023. I have visited the president of South Korea 3 times in my presidency. Just because Singapore and South Korea were exactly like Kenya 60 years ago. Today, they are in the first world, we are in the third world. Singapore, for example, was exactly, and you have been following pictures, Singapore was exactly like Kibera, a slum, 60 years ago. Today in Singapore, 97% of their people are homeowners. In Kenya, 7 million people live in slums, and home ownership is limited to 40,000 mortgages every year. If you look at the GDP per capita of South Korea, in 1963, it was $79, exactly like Kenya. GDP per capita for Kenya in 1963 was $80. But today, South Korea is in the first world with a GDP per capita 20 times that of Kenya. In fact, they lend us the money, 80 billion shillings. South Korea lend us to do Concert City. Just imagine. The difference between us and them? Leadership. It's not money, it's not resources, it's not all those, it's just leadership. And that is why I've taken time over the last 2 months to speak to leaders, members of parliament, senators. I brought here governors, because we have an opportunity of a lifetime to get Kenya out of this third world place and make it a first world country in our lifetime. It will not take us so long. It will take us between 20 and 30 years, and Kenya will be a first world country if we do the right things. Today, across Kenya, in every county, we are having a conversation about youth entrepreneurship. Working with the World Bank, we have raised 5 billion shillings to give 100,000 young people in Kenya money to scale up their businesses, and we are in the process of identifying them. I have asked counties, county governments, members of parliament, MCAs, chiefs, assistant chiefs to work with us. The target is to have 1 million young people benefit. We're starting with 100,000. By the end of this month, we'll begin the process of releasing the 5 billion shillings to make sure that in every ward in Kenya, we identify 70 young people between the age of 18 and 29 who are doing business, so that we can give them business support grants. We're also looking for 90,000 other young people who have no formal training, so that we can take them through formal training, pay for their stipend, make sure that we support them to gain skills and competencies, working with with our TVETs. We are also identifying close to 20 or 30,000 others who will go through what we call recognition of prior learning, so that we can certify them Many of them are working in our affordable housing programs and all the other programs. And we want to identify another almost 700,000 young people to support them to be part of the AGBO process. Government procurement. We have a lot of government procurement that's going on, and young people are not participating because of many roadblocks. So we want to prepare them so that the budget we have a huge budget of procurement, close to 200 billion, that is supposed to be reserved for young people, people with disability, and women. But that is not, we're not uptaking that. They're not participating, and we want to see how we can improve their skills. So that exercise is going on across Kenya today, and allow me, Marsden, to use this launch of yours to ask members of parliament, members of county assemblies, our Ngao officers from chiefs and assistants to participate with us as we focus on how to mainstream the participation of the young people in our nation, rally their energy, rally their talents into growing our country. Others will be participating in our housing program, markets program, hostels program. Others are participating in our export of labor or labor mobility program. Others are participating in our digital jobs program. Others will participate in what I've just said as we try and create a broader base of opportunities for the young people of Kenya to contribute their talent, their energy, their expertise, their knowledge in driving the economy of our country and in driving the progress and development of Kenya.